Hi guys, it's Sam here from Growth and welcome to this episode. Here on this channel we promise to bring you the best quality content when it comes to growing your home improvements, trade or construction business. So whether you're listening to this on iTunes or Spotify or you're watching this on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button, and if you are watching this, go ahead and hit that like button as well, as it helps us grow this channel. Enjoy the episode and we look forward to seeing you in more coming episodes as we release more content every single week.
Here we go. Just gonna double check we're live in the group before we start talking. Yeah, we're live. Perfect. Hi guys, how's it going? Sam here from Use Growth. Welcome to today's live stream. We haven't done one of these in a little while, so we're not sure how long it will take. Hopefully no longer than an hour. So you guys feel free to kind of hop in and out. And if you guys are catching the replay, then obviously thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys find this useful. As you know, we do a lot of Facebook and Instagram here at Growth, and this group's mainly all about Facebook and Instagram. So today's a little bit different. It's going to be quite exciting. We've got Sam from Atomic Marketing, and Sam does all things Google Ads. So he's going to talk about specifically kind of trade, construction, home improvements. So that'll probably be a little bit of Google Ads basics, a little bit of website conversion optimization, and then you never know, maybe at the end we can have some of you guys pop your website. Actually, no, if you during this live stream, if you guys want to pop your website URLs in the bottom, if you guys are running any kind of traffic to it, and then maybe at the end we can do a little live kind of feedback session, and we can have a look at what you guys are doing. Sam can give his expertise and stuff like that. So I'll let Sam kick things off. Do you want to kind of firstly introduce yourself, let everyone know who you are, what you guys do, and then we can kind of kick-start the session, I guess.
Yeah, sure thing. Firstly, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. And yeah, so my name's Sam Obrat. I'm the founder of Atomic Marketing, and we are an agency that specializes in Google Ads, landing page design, and conversion rate optimization. So really, like, what we do is we make our clients more money using Google Ads. So we work with lots of different types of industries. We primarily focus in legal, but we also work with a lot of other consultancy professionals, as well as trades, and e-commerce as well as home improvement, primarily with lead gen. So that's a bit about what we do, and I'm looking forward to sharing some useful nuggets of information that you can take away, and I'm confident they will really help you get more inquiries and more business.
And just to kind of what Sam said there, if you guys are doing Google, you absolutely should watch this, because chances are you've got an agency who's doing it for you, probably doing it wrong, or you're doing it yourself. Maybe it's subpar. 1 hour of your time, 30 minutes of time could actually save you months and months and months of waste and thousands of ways to spend on Google. So don't miss out. We've got 8 people streaming live, which is fantastic. I'm going to get my Facebook group up on here. So if anyone has any comments, put them in the comments on this live stream, and we'll get to them. I'll let Sam talk, but I'll get to the comments and bring them up as we go. Any questions you've got about any of the stuff Sam's talking about. And again, pop your website URLs in the bottom, and also drop us a comment, just say live, just so we know you're watching live. And if you're watching the replay, put a comment saying replay, just so I can see how many of you guys are watching live and how many of you guys are watching the replay. So if Sam, do you want to kind of kick things off and share your screen?
Sure. Yep, so I've prepared some slides just to make everything a bit more visual for you guys. So let me know, Sam, once this is all sharing as it should be.
There we go, popping it on stream now. Awesome.
Oh.
We're good.
How's that?
Yeah, spot on. I think everyone should be able to do that, so let's crack on.
Brilliant. Okay, so essentially what I'm going to be showing you is how to generate more inquiries, close more clients using very easy to implement Google Ads and landing page strategies. So what I aim for you to learn from this is how you can get more inquiries, whether that be calls, emails, on-site surveys, how you can quickly qualify your prospects, ensuring your leads are high quality, how you can get a competitive advantage over other companies who are currently advertising, and how to build an end-to-end funnel that generates inquiries on autopilot, as well as tracking the revenue you actually generate from your Google ad spend. And bonus, how to target high-value prospects. I know this is something, Sam, that I'm sure you find all the time, where people are struggling with like potentially low quality leads and they want the best of the best. This training will help you really pick out some of these types of people.
No shit kicker, basically.
Exactly that. So who is this for? Any of you guys who are business owners or marketing managers, and essentially if you want more highly qualified service inquiries. So a little bit more about me with a little picture. We're also based in London as well, and we specialize in Google Ads for trades as well as other industries. We convert people into paying clients using a combination of online marketing channels, primarily Google Ads though, with persuasive design, copywriting, all combined with an effective sales process. And we've helped consulting for dozens of firms across the UK, small to medium-sized practices as well as nationwide companies as well. And essentially with Google Ads, it's really all about results. The clients that work with us, you know, if it doesn't work pretty soon, then they're on the way. So there's not really much of an opportunity for us. So getting results quickly is really the name of the game, especially if you're an agency with monthly contracts. So you can see here, this is just an example of one of the campaigns we've run from a glazing, double glazing campaign, where they've spent £10,000 and been able to get over 600 inquiries for. So everything in here, I'll be showing screenshots as well.
Yeah, cool. Sounds good.
So essentially, demand is high in your industry. It does depend on what industry your company is in, but there are thousands and thousands of people every month going directly to Google to find a local company such as your own. And you can see these number of searches made each month in Google Ads. So this is actually a screenshot of the Google Keyword Planner. And this is a completely free tool, which allows you to essentially put your website in or type a few keywords, and you can see all the related search terms that should come up, which you can potentially target your ads to show for. So you can see here, I've given the example of roofing. Roofing is one of our more recent campaigns. And I'll also show you the results of that as we go on forward.
Awesome.
Another thing is that your competitors are also advertising. And this isn't to like scaremonger you or anything like that, but essentially your competitors are advertising for a reason, especially the long-standing ones. But people who have ads up for years and years, it's clearly working for them. Otherwise, they wouldn't be doing it. So really, if your competitors are doing it successfully, so can you. But before anything, it's really important, if you are sending traffic to your website, that you have all the right conversion tracking set up. If you do not have this, and you can't track phone calls, you can't track form inquiries, you can't optimize the campaign. And I won't bore you with the technical details of how to do this, but just know if you're not currently tracking phone calls and email inquiries, then you should be doing that first of all.
I'm guessing people can go to YouTube and find that out pretty easily.
Google has a lot of resources on that, and you'll find endless YouTube videos on the topic of conversion tracking.
Yeah. Cool. Facebook with a picture, essentially. Yeah. Cool.
So Google Ads is highly measurable. And what's great about it is with the advanced tracking through those tools that I just showed you, you can see every single individual inquiry and phone call as a result of the Google Ads campaign down to the keyword that triggered them. So this screenshot, I've got an example of our client who specializes in doing locksmithings for vans. So they do like van deadlocks and essentially, increasing the security of vans. And you can see all the individual ad groups and the keywords within them, which are triggering these conversions.
And the thing about this industry compared to a Facebook, for example, sometimes Google works a lot better for it's a technical term for it, I can't remember, but effectively products and services that have some sort of trigger. So things like roofing, the roof's leaking, they need a new roof. Double glazing, conservatory roofs, flat roofs, driveways, those are sort of things that Facebook can work so well because they're so visual and you can be almost convinced into having one done. But you can't really convince someone into, if the van's been broken into or whatever, you can't exactly convince somebody they're going to need this product. It's a little bit more specific, I suppose. So that's where Google Ads comes in, I'm guessing.
Exactly, Sam. Yeah, you couldn't have said it better. So anything where someone is in desperate need of something right now and that buying decision time frame is quite short, then Google Ads works really well. So if a leak, repairs, damage to stuff, Google Ads is a perfect channel. So let's get started with it. The main thing before you start any campaign is really just to do your keyword research, know what types of keywords you want to be targeting. So kind of like Sam said, you've got to know the people's pain points. If they're looking for something right now or something within close proximity, you want to target keywords where people are essentially looking for someone close to them. And near me is one of the biggest types of modifiers you can add onto an end of a keyword. So roofer near me, or it could be conservatory roofs near me, roofing suppliers, roofing companies. There's tons of different options with this. If you just put your business industry name at the top of Google right now and put near me, you're going to see it come up on autocomplete. And this is really good to target a very localized campaign. So I'll give you a little bonus thing straight away before we get into the rest of it. So if you are looking for high quality inquiries, say you're looking for a new conservatory roof or a conservatory roof replacement, in Google Ads, you can target very specific postcodes to show your ads to these types of people. And this is just an example of two different campaigns. One's got broad targeting for the whole of London, which, as you can imagine, it's got a huge reach of people, but it's not very specific to certain areas or certain house types. In these Kensington, Knightsbridge, Chelsea areas, you're going to get some very, you're going to get some very expensive houses with big budgets to work with. So
I suppose it's like different people of different, let's say, social. It sounds. I don't like to be rude, but it's all be honest here. Like they've got more money, they've got more kind of disposable income. They've got different. There's different things they value. Their value systems change. Someone from maybe outskirts of London, South London might be more price sensitive. Somebody from these select wealthy areas, they're looking for reliability, quality, and that I guess your Google ads and your keywords would differ depending on the area you're targeting as well.
Exactly that. So as you mentioned, Sam, you can really tailor campaigns according to your target audience. And the better you know your target audience, the better you can tailor the whole experience with the ad and as well as the landing page as well when we get to that. But not only that, you can of course just target certain locations. But in Google Ads, you also get the option to target audiences as well. So typically, people who are in market audiences for financial services or looking for business financial services or investments, they'll typically have a higher disposable income as well to be able to be a better quality lead and qualify themselves as having the money to work with you if you are looking for these high-end types of clients, especially if you're like a builder, for example. The difference in this targeting can make a huge impact in your campaigns.
Yeah.
So another thing that I really recommend is use the words like price and cost. Now, this is very dependent to who you're targeting. If you're targeting some more smaller budget types clients, these work really well. But ultimately, for all services, the main question people have is, how much is it going to cost? Can I get a quote? And a lot of advertisers are actually scared of showing their ads for these types of keywords, thinking, oh, they're just people shopping for prices. But these types of keywords really qualify people who want to get a quote or who want to get a price. And they typically are maybe 30 to 50% cheaper per click. So they're actually very cost-effective keywords to target, and they work really well. But a lot of people don't use them. So experiment with them for sure, because they are essentially people looking for a price. And if you can match that offer on your landing page or your website, so if they click on an ad saying free quote within 24 hours, and then they come to your landing page, they're most likely going to be interested in finding out how much their particular service will cost.
So you don't effectively have to give them a price on the landing page. It's just about, they're looking for a price, they want it quickly. And if other landing pages are like have contact form buttons, like get in contact, whereas your landing page, get a price in 24 hours, give us your contact information and we'll give you a price in 24 hours, maybe a little bit of detail about the actual specifics. You're a lot more likely to convert that lead versus somebody else whose website isn't maybe structured and their keywords aren't, their Google ads aren't really structured around like the speed of that delivery of that quote.
Exactly that, yeah. And realistically as well, people know they're not going to be able to get a really detailed quotation by just putting their name, email, and phone number in a form. That is one of the big mistakes as well, because they have to come around, especially if it's a big job as well, and like you're getting a full roof replacement, they're going to have to inspect the whole roof, see what needs changing, what can be restored, all of that sort of stuff. It's ultimately they need to get them to come around.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So with writing your ads, I've got some pretty high performing ads here, and you can see these are from a mixture of different campaigns, 2 from the roof, 1 from the van locks. But essentially, you've got to know what your target audience wants, and you only get a limited number of characters in the 2 headlines and then the descriptions. And this is what makes it a lot easier than Facebook, in my opinion. Yeah, is that you only have a certain amount to work with. With Facebook, your creative ability can be, no bounds, which works really well for very visual things. But in Google Ads, we only have so much to work with. So we have to use emotional triggers, using numbers in the headlines, removing objections in the headlines, use all the available space. So many times I see people only put like the keyword in headline 1 and then free quote in the second one. The bigger you can make your ads using all the available assets that Google gives you, the more real estate it's going to take up on the page. And the more space you take up, the more clicks you're going to get to your ads over your competitors' ads.
The best way I can explain from my point, just to, sorry to cut you up there, Sam, is if you think about a Facebook ad, your job of that, the first line of the copy is, your job of the visual is to grab their attention, make them understand what the product is, see it, and then the headline gets them to read more, and then the subject of the text gets them to understand the product better. Same with Google, I suppose. You've got the headline, which would be, with Facebook, you might test angles. So you could have a price angle, you could have a reliability angle, you could have efficiency angle, for example. I'm guessing with this, you might take the company's, what they consider to be their top 3, maybe unique benefits versus their competition. So that could be quote in 24 hours, that could be price match guarantee, that could, whatever that might be. And then that would be your kind of key headline in that first line of text, and then underneath is where you can fill a text, give them more information. Is that kind of the same with Google?
Exactly. Yes. Try all the different angles. Should get you to write some Google ads for us.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. So essentially, like Sam was saying, you can try all the different angles, and as long as you have a methodical way to test them, so don't completely rewrite a brand new ad with different headlines and different descriptions. Just change one thing if you are doing a test. Just write 2 ads, change the headline in one of them. And that can be something if it's like a price sensitive thing, or perhaps see before and after pictures. That works really well as well, actually.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. So what, you put that in your headline?
Yeah, exactly. If it's like a roof repair, or roof replacement, or roof cleaning, any kind of like cleaning based companies, that works really well.
So let's say, just to be more practical, let's say we've got a few of you guys watching maybe do roofing or double glazing or any, maybe some of the more like kind of immediate products, like repair products. What would you suggest they kind of start with? So if they're running some Google ads, maybe they've got an agency running it for them, what would be the first step? Would you tell them to kind of sit down, write down their top 3 angles, top 3 benefits of their company, and kind of work from there? Or how would you advise them to kind of get started doing that?
Yeah, I would personally, that's a very good point. Definitely know like what your benefits are, but if you can really understand what the key things are that people are looking for, and if you can get into the mind of your target customers, say for example, we go back to that high net worth area in London, then you'd want to focus more about like reliability, the trustworthiness, the accreditations, rather than like affordable roof repairs, free instant quote, that sort of thing. I mean, I guess a lot of them will still be quite price conscious anyway, but it just kind of match your USP points and your headlines with what people are looking for. And and another thing is like with roofing, people are scared of cowboy builders and people who aren't fully registered. That's a thing you could test and try and address, and it does work quite well.
Yeah, 100%. And things like Trustpilot reviews, Checker Trade. Obviously, we'll get into this on the landing page as well, but those are all massive points that a lot of people miss out on. And I know I've seen your landing pages loads of times, so I know you know what you're doing with that. And obviously, we both follow the same principles with landing pages. But it's crazy how few people actually put their trust like scores, like their Friendster rating or their Checker Trade 10 out of 10 or Trustpilot like 200 reviews. They don't even put them on the landing pages, or they're like right at the bottom of the page. And it baffles me still. So I think this is going to be the most useful part, because a lot of these guys doing Google ads, the biggest impact for them is going to be on their websites. It's going to be
Correct.
like, if you've got traffic going to your page, obviously there's things you can be optimizing, but a lot of guys watching this will be tradesmen, potentially on the tools. They haven't really got time to be messing about with nothing too crazy, and I'm sure they'll find an agency to do that for them if required. But it's going to be, the biggest impact is going to be this, because whoever's got websites, you haven't, either somebody building it for you or you do it yourself in WordPress, whatever it might be. It doesn't matter how you do it, you can still implement this stuff that we're going to go over now. This basic things that you should be checking off with your websites that I guarantee most people aren't. So I'm excited for this part. So should we crack on with the landing page stuff then?
Yeah, sure thing. So as Sam described, once the ad has been clicked, that is essentially the role of Google Ads, is to get traffic, to get people to click on your ad. After that, it's a case of converting them. And after that point, there's not really too much in terms of what Google can do. I mean, you can, of course, make sure you're getting the best possible quality traffic of qualified people to click on your ad. But once they've clicked on the ad, it's now the job of your website to convert this visitor into a phone call or email inquiry.
Yeah.
So you can see here, we've got the example of the affordable roof repairs and then the landing page that we have designed.
Yeah.
And you haven't seen this one, have you?
No. It's similar to the other ones, but I like the structure. The structure looks good. It's this sort of same sort of structure we'd follow. Obviously, a lot of the guys in this group have seen our pages. It's very similar, so it looks pretty good to me. One of my favorite things is the two-step forms, and we talked about this, Sam, but I like how you've got there where it says get a free no obligation roofing quote. You don't have contact information right there. You have give us a couple of questions and then get a free quote, and then you take the contact information. So it feels less aggressive. And that's actually something we talked about and we started to leverage, and it actually works really, really well. So I'm a big fan of that one. Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. So when it comes to people clicking your ads and then going to your landing page or website, it's very important that there is some consistency across the type of messaging that you're using. I'm sure it's exactly the same in Facebook. If you're using certain creative and then you take them to a page where designs or the vibe is just, or the language is completely different, then you're going to get a lot of people just clicking straight back out. And our goal here is really just to get people to take action. So with landing pages, what we like to do now is actually build it in more of something which looks like an actual website, but it's still one page. And by that, we've got this navigation at the top where you can see services, areas covered, reviews, FAQs, get a free quote. And it looks like a very reputable, trustworthy website rather than a page which just has like a logo and nothing else and like a contact form.
Yeah. Don't use ClickFunnels, basically.
You didn't hear it from me. So if you mention free quote in an ad, then include it in the contact form as well. Be specific to what they're looking for. If they're looking for a roofing quote, a roof repair quote, then add that in the form headline as well.
So what basically, in a nutshell, don't have multiple services on one page. If you're a company that does roofing, does double glazing, does repair work, you really need a page for each one. Like you can't, a landing page that says get a free quote on double glazing, roofing, or driveways is never going to convert as highly as a website that says get a free double glazing quote or get a free double glazing repair quote. It has to be specific, right?
Exactly, yeah. Especially if you're using multiple locations as well. If you're trying to like generalize, or if you're a big company and do nationwide campaigns, you've just got like one generic page. Localizing that is going to make a huge difference. So here's an example of sorry, Sam, you go ahead.
I was just saying, I thought this was an example landing page. I was so surprised, and I just read it was a poor landing page, and I thought it was pretty
This is just an example exactly of a poor ad to landing page message match. So you can see the ad here on the left really doesn't relate well to the headline and even the whole overall design of it. So you would have thought this is more like a crane type service or some kind of you would have no idea this is actually roofing repair from the image in the headline.
Yeah.
And they're offering free service with a unique quote.
I'll say 90% of people watching their website probably looks like this right now. So no offense, guys, if it does, just take something away from this call, I suppose.
No offense intended. This is designed to help you get more for what you're currently doing. But yeah, make sure whatever your ad says, match that with the main hero section of your website. So the section which is highest up on the page.
Yeah, 100%. Cool.
And this is probably one of my favorite pieces of advice that you can be doing, especially if you are using Google Ads or any form of advertising where you've got an offer. And by an offer, we don't mean like a discount. You mean like a free quote or whatever your proposition is to get people to contact you. And really the main thing with this, and so many people forget to do this, is highlight the value they will receive by taking up your offer. So and explain that process. So get a no obligation, accurate quote within 2 hours. In that you kind of address a few pain points with that headline. So if you want to take that headline, be my guest, it works really well. And we explain the process of what happens next, rather than just filling the form and waiting and seeing what happens. And here we explain step 1, complete a few short online questions. Step 2, receive a quote within 2 hours. Step 3, arrange a free on-site survey and final quote. We know in this industry, you're not going to get a fully accurate quote just from completing a web form. Unless you can like upload a million different pictures. And even then, someone's still got to come and see the roof. So
one thing that we've been testing recently is we've been having a toggle on the opt-in section on our forms. So we're saying get a free price quote or get a free... a lot of times, one of our guys on our team started to put get a free survey, and we were like, mate, nobody wants a free survey. Like, they want a free quote. So we changed that, obviously, but maybe think about it, because I was like, we started to add a little toggle that was like, get a free price quote within 24 hours, and then we had options like, I would like an appointment, I would like an online quotation, because some people don't want someone to come out, and if you can accommodate for online quotes, whether that be through some sort of software platform, whether that be just over the phone through Zoom, if you can accommodate for that at the moment, especially, I think that's a big benefit as well. So, and you want to make it clear to people that if they would rather have an online quote, that is a possibility, if it is.
That's a cool little feature, actually, giving people the option.
Some clients don't want to, they want to get out there and pitch them properly. But if the guys are happy to do it, we've got a few guys to do like shutters and stuff. And shutters are relatively simple, like get measurements and you can probably give them a price. So they're happy to, but it really depends on the customer, I suppose, and the business.
Yeah, completely. Because you don't want to be asking too many questions to be able to get that quote. But if there's enough to get a ballpark idea, to just give someone some rough type of idea to move forward with and qualify them, then absolutely.
100%. Sweet.
And here, like you were talking about before, one of the favorite things that we like to do is multiple step forms. Usually we recommend just doing a quick 2-step and make the questions very easy to answer on that first step. Because it's intimidating if you come to a website and then you have to give away all your personal details straight away before they even ask you what you're looking for, essentially, or what your problem is. Here, there's a very simple way of they can answer what type of property they have, what do they need help with. So in that drop down, we've got stuff like, I've got a roof leaking, or I've got missing tiles from my roof, or there's like something else is broken with it. So we've got a list of all these different things in that drop down, which makes it so easy.
And one we do is we ask them, when are you looking to get this done? Because sometimes people don't like pressure, they don't like pressure selling. So if you say to them, like, when are you looking to get this install done? And they can say immediately, within the next few weeks, within the next few months. Then it takes the pressure off, and they're like, well, they're not going to come and pitch me. They're not going to try and sell me tomorrow. I've told them I want this done in the next 6 weeks, and they're going to kind of follow that process. But yeah, Paul Booms just said he's been discussing. We have chatted about this a little while. Exactly what markets like Tim Lowe. I don't actually know those guys. Chris Cardone. I don't know if you know Chris Cardone. Do you, Sam? Or have you heard of those guys?
I don't believe so.
I'll check them out. But yeah, I'm glad you are enjoying it, Paul, and appreciate your comments. So let's carry on with the stream and crack on. But yeah, 2-step forms. I like that a lot. It's a bit like if you meet someone in the pub. Let's say you're a canvasser. You're not going to go to knock on someone's door and say, hey, can I give you a price quote? You're going to say, hey, tell me your problem. What have you got a leak? Have you got do you need a replacement? When you're looking to get this done, then you might be like, okay, cool. Now give me the details and I'll give you a quote. It's no different. People forget, like, people are people, aren't they? Sales are sales. Like, if you can be softer with your initial interaction, it's always going to work. And what we find is we actually get about a so let's say your average landing page conversion might have been 8% before. What we find is the overall increases, but we get like a 20% on the first page, and then we get about 60% opt-in on the second page, 50%, sometimes a little bit lower. But it's just interesting how that works. And sometimes you could do it an even smarter way, whereby you actually take their email address and their name, and you wait to take the contact number on the second step. In which case, if you have good we're getting a little bit complicated here, but if you have a good remarketing process, you can then email those people, and then hopefully a percentage of those people will then book in a quote. So just more ways to get more contact, more leads. But if you guys are spending thousands a month on marketing and you've got tens of thousands of people landing your website every month, that could be an additional 20, 30 grand in revenue, like just by implementing these couple little steps. So it's massively important. I think, Sam's absolutely right.
Yeah, you don't have to pay a single pound more in ad spend if you can just improve your conversion rate by, say, 5-10%.
Yeah, 100%, exactly. Cool.
And again, like you were saying, Sam, the form with the two-step gives you the opportunity to ask more questions to qualify people as well. So for your business, it works out so much better because you can find out more about what they're looking for. And you can see this particular example works really well for a glazing company that we work with.
Yeah,
so we offer like a quick kind of checkbox one and then 2 drop downs. So kind of mixing up the different style of the formatting of the questions works quite well as well. But really, the main thing is don't ask more than 2 to 3 on each step. Keep the questions low threat and easy to answer. So try not to make them hugely open-ended. It does. I mean, in some cases, it doesn't really matter too much, we found. And then use a progress indicator as well, so people know exactly where they're at. Because there's nothing worse than, I don't know if you've been to one of those like insurance sites where you've been like asked about a million different questions before you're able to get a home insurance quote. But they all have progress indicators.
Yeah,
but it's kind of important to have that so people know where they're at.
My least favorite thing that happens on websites is, bear in mind, most people are stuck in 2005 with their marketing online. So you go to websites and it's like contact form, and it's like name, email, number, and like message, and you're like, cool, now what? It's like, do you know what I mean? And just to be contacted, you have no idea what's going to happen.
Maybe that slide will drive home the point for you.
Yeah, it's so annoying. Like, I love that 3-step. It's like, give us your contact information. We'll confirm with a text message, and then you can then book in a time to speak with us over the phone, or like whatever. Just make him. If people know the process, it's loads of elements to this. But if people know, there you go, contact form. That's how.
These are all real examples of construction and home improvement contact forms as well.
Yeah,
and not use the word submit as well.
Oh man, yeah, and then people always put it on a page like embedded deep in their website that you can't find.
Yeah, and I love the title field as well, as if you're going to be like Mr. or Doctor.
Oh no, it's funny. Yeah, it's funny how language can change people's opinions. One book's really good to read is The Ultimate Sales Letter. So anyone here, I mean, we're all in marketing, right? If we're in a business, we're in marketing. It doesn't matter if you've got an agency, you're in marketing, whatever you do. A great book is The Ultimate Sales Letter. I forget the name. The one book called it, if you Google it on Amazon or whatever. The Ultimate Sales Letter, and it talks a lot about structuring your landing pages, but also how to write good headlines, how to write good buttons, calls to actions, and just simple changing something from submit to get a free quote. Like, it's such a simple fix, but it has such big implications on the conversion rates. So there's a lot of things to think about, but take one thing at a time, and just obviously this is going to be in the group, so you can rewatch it, you can see the examples, and make sure you kind of digest it. You know, it's going to take a little bit of time, but it's all key information. So
yeah, exactly. Cool. So moving on, we can go on to including social proof and accreditations. And this is so important for anyone in trade, where you actually need to be like accredited by certain like bodies of professionals, companies and stuff. And combine that with testimonials, and you really have a very powerful reason for people to get in contact with you, especially if people arrive on your landing page or your website and they can see these all pretty quickly. Then people are much more likely to get in touch with you and go through that 2-step form or phone call. So typically where we like to put them is literally in close proximity to the inquiry form. So a testimonial as well as your accreditations. And using landing pages, you can be quite flexible with how you design this, whereas in certain like WordPress templates, you're quite limited. And that's often why all these accreditation logos end up in the footer, doing nothing for you. But the closer you can put them into the proximity of your form, the better results you're going to get.
Just to kind of follow up on that, there's a phrase which is called above the fold, and that's essentially what we're looking at here. Now, above the fold in marketing terms basically means before the scroll, essentially. So it will look different on mobile, it'll look different on desktop, but you want to get, I think I'd say 5, I'm sure Sam's going to go into this, but 5 key pieces of information: headline, subheadline, benefits, contact, call to action, and trust. And you want to get all that above the fold. So if your website doesn't have all those 5 things above the fold, clear benefit-driven headline, a subheadline that explains how you deliver that benefit, core benefits of your product, contact form or clear call to action, and trust. Get it on there basically. Trustpilot has, unfortunately, some like My Builder and Better People, they don't, but Trustpilot has you can actually embed your Trustpilot review score on your website. It gives you a bit of code. So if you get Trustpilot, that's why I love it so much. You can go to Trustpilot, you can grab a piece of code, you can pop it on your website, and it just pops up. And it looks really nice. So yeah, I like that idea a lot, and that sounds absolutely right. Get it nice and high, get it near the button, and it'll work a lot better.
Exactly. Build a page that looks kind of in this framework, and you will immediately see better results from the traffic you're currently getting.
Yeah.
And also, if you're in the process of experimenting with how your website is performing in terms of people actually using it, use something like Hotjar, and it's actually free as well. And it gives you a really good idea as to what people are clicking on, how far they're scrolling, and ultimately like how they're using your page. So you can see in this particular example, they're hitting all the main places, especially on mobile. They're clicking all the right sort of things. You can see people are quite heavily clicking on the service button there. So perhaps what we might consider then is actually, if people are really looking for the different services, we might want to take that section with the service section and put it right below the main hero section to make it easier for find.
That's an interesting idea. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
So just some kind of ideas. I wouldn't spend too much time on it, but you just need like a decent sample size of people who have visited your website to get an idea as to, okay, what are they clicking on? What shouldn't they be clicking on? What elements can I remove? What can I change the position of to give more prominence or priority?
Yeah. And these guys, you can do this pretty much once. Like all of these things, you do them once, and your website's pretty much going to convert higher forever. Like if you can take your website conversion rate from 2% to 5%, imagine what that'll do to your business in 5 years. Like it's crazy. So do all these things once, get them right the first time, and you'll never have to do it again.
Exactly.
Cool.
So here you can see it's essentially the whole kind of process all laid out in quite a clear way, from clicking on the ad to visiting the landing page. And once people complete the form on the landing page of your website, you can then, using certain tools, you can have an instant email which goes out to them, or if they're looking in to book a survey time, you can connect them to something like Calendly, for example, where they can pick from an available set of times, where Calendly then will actually send all the automated reminders and confirmation details, and then they turn up for the survey. That's really it. There's a few different technologies which go into it, but essentially, if you're looking to have a very automated process and you're dealing with a large volume of leads, then this is like a great system to use.
Yeah. One of the things we do is it's just a simple follow-up text, and you can use something like ClickSend, just clicksend.com or .co.uk, and you can integrate that with Zapier. But it's relatively simple to set up. And anyone that comes in to your system, your website, your contact forms, just send them have like a little bit of a delay on it, and send them a little text message. It just looks like it's personal. So, and then with ClickSend, the beautiful thing is you can set it to come from your phone number. So you can literally follow up and say, hey, John, just so your inquiry came in. This is Grant from Roof Solutions, whatever. Just going to give you a call later today, but if you've got any questions, let me know. Like something like that is mad because it's just so personal. And you don't have to, you can set it automatically through ClickSend. So it 5-minute delay, 10-minute delay on the inquiry, boom, text message goes out. People always reply. They always reply to them because it's so personal.
And they're also going to make them so much more likely to answer the phone and reply to any other kind of messaging that you have going on to them.
Exactly. Imagine they've gone to 5 websites. They fill in their information on 5 different websites, but you're the only one that sent them a personalized text message. I mean, that's going to have a big difference, isn't it? Like in terms, you've got to think about the post opt-in, the post inquiry process is just as important as before. So, Yeah, definitely.
So here we've got some actual examples of some of our clients. This one's a little bit blurry, but you can see this one's from our roofing campaign, what we've been able to achieve in there. It's only been a small spend of £3,000 or just shy of £4,000, but we've been able to get a lot of inquiries for this. This one's more in the repair area, so rather than full roof replacements.
Yeah.
So again, like we were discussing before, anything where there is like a leak in a roof or there's something which needs to be sorted out in a very timely manner, Google Ads is going to work very, very well for you. And you can see that conversion rates in there as well for the different ad groups, very high.
6%, pretty good. What were the click costs for this £3.48 per click? A lot of people look at that and freak out, wouldn't they? £3.50 a click.
Yeah, they might well do. And that's on the very cheap end. You can pay like £15 in roofing, maybe more as well. Yeah. This is all going for like the repair. This is a campaign solely going for the cheap stuff.
Yeah.
Just because that's what the client budget was allowed us to do. Sometimes if you've got a bigger budget and you want to target like roof replacement London or roof replacement North London, for example, they're going to be a lot more expensive. But you know, think of the actual value of a full roof replacement job.
Well, it's like if you're paying £5 a click, your website's converting 10%. It's costing you £50 a lead. Your closing leads are 10%. It's costing you £500 per deal, but a deal's worth 5 to 10 grand. Well, it's a no-brainer, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So when you put it that way, the average cost per click doesn't seem too bad then.
No, it doesn't. Yeah, exactly.
So to show you some examples of pages we've done and the results they've been able to get. This one is a staircase renovation company based in Dorset. And this is the landing page that we've used for them. Very simple. We're not putting too much information in there. This page had an 8% average campaign conversion rate. And you can see at the top if it somehow stops. And all we ask is 2 simple questions and get a free site survey. So we're actually using the site survey, which may be the reason why the conversion rate isn't like 10% higher.
Yeah.
But it still works really well. And it's done.
This product's slightly more bespoke, so this sort of requires a site survey, doesn't it?
Exactly, yeah. See the space in the area. This
could work super well with Facebook, actually. Anything that has a very, very distinguished before and after transformation with Facebook, it can absolutely bang. So this is one of those products that I think could work pretty well with Facebook as well. So it'd be interesting to see how that would work. But yeah, no, it looks really good.
Definitely. Here you can see the results. So you can see the average cost is actually so cheap in this particular area. This is in Dorset, so it's not hugely competitive compared to, say, an area like London.
Yeah.
But you can see for the cost of £6,000, they've had over 300 inquiries. And you know what an average staircase job could be, anywhere between £10,000 and £20,000, depending on what it is. And you have a good close rate out of those 400 inquiries.
Yeah,
you like your odds. That's why you can see the revenue generated. It's been pretty darn high.
Yeah, that's mad. It looks really, it's a cool product as well. I love really working with a few guys who do quite interesting stuff. You know, bespoke like outdoor kitchens and like stuff like the staircase renovations and splashbacks. And I love products like that. It's just so interesting to market. So, and it's just a lot of these guys who do these products and they're so smart and experienced in their particular sector and their product's that good, but they just don't know how to market it properly and how to get the message out there. So one thing I will say actually in this topic is visuals, images, so important. Whenever you invest in a decent camera, get a good phone, whatever, buy a drone, whatever you need to do, like, because visuals are so important on the ads, especially Facebook, on the landing page conversion rates, everything. Like if you've got really, really smart visuals versus like stock imagery, it's going to work a lot better for you, I think. Yeah,
I couldn't put it better myself. The more personalized imagery you can use, the more authentic it feels to the brand. And especially like if you're showcasing your work, so many times I see that I'm given the worst kind of camera phone photos to work with.
Finger over the lens.
Yeah, exactly. Or it's blurry, or sometimes the before picture looks better than the after. But it's funny actually. The client of ours who does the stair renovations, they said like, "Oh, we'll be taking some gourmet photos for you guys," and I always remembered that. Yeah, keep it gourmet, guys, with your before and afters.
And getting perfect one of the most important things is that if you're stood here and you take a before picture, don't go and stand over there and take the after picture. Stand in the same place and get like a really cool side by side. But yeah, when we work with clients and they send us all these like beautiful photos, it's just like, you can like breathe. It's like, thank God we've got some quality content. Obviously, we've started doing more video stuff, but it's good photos are. Whatever market, why go and spend 4 weeks on a project and make it look absolutely gorgeous and then never take a good photo? Take as many as you can. Take all the photos you can. Like, it's worth it.
Yeah, that for sure.
Yeah.
So on this example here, we've got the van security that I mentioned earlier. So the deadlock installation. I'm sure many of your clients all use vans, and what I actually did this page after I took a copywriting course, and we really took a lot of time and effort to go into writing like convincing copy. So you can see it's not too image heavy, and for van locks, there's not going to be a huge opportunity for before and after photos. But the main thing is protecting your livelihood. You've invested thousands of pounds into the tools inside the van. Why wouldn't you spend £500 to protect them? And we use all the kind of language from forums, and we found all these like horror stories of vans being broken into, and like got all these pain points, and then just translated that into like points on these sites. So our van had been done. That's like the term that people are using for when a van's broken into. So we use that.
Could end your business, or it could halt your business, revenue, everything. So it's almost like insurance, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
Makes sense. No, it looks good. It's good.
So here you can see the results from that particular campaign, all the different types of ad groups and keywords that we're targeting. Again, we're getting like a 15+ conversion rate from this particular landing page. They spent nearly £3,500 for 410 inquiries.
Not bad.
Yeah, cost per conversion of £8, and average job value can be anywhere between 400 and £600. But if they have multiple vans or a fleet, then you're laughing. You hit the jackpot.
Yeah.
This is the window glazing campaign that we're running. And you can see here, we don't actually use a form. We're only asking people to give them a call. And because of this particular type of service, if you've got a broken shop window or like a broken window, that's something you're probably not going to email for. And if you are going to email, you're going to want to reply really quick, but people just pick up the phone and call. It's like pest control. If you've got loads of rats running around in your kitchen, you're not going to really like answer a multi-step form. You might do, but like essentially you're going to be picking up the phone for someone to sort it out.
So what would you do if like it's out of hours, for example? How does that work? Do you have like a daily voicemail? How do you handle that?
Yeah, so if it's out of hours, we typically, for smaller clients, we'll just stop the ads at like a certain time to give them the opportunity to take care of what's within their working hours. If it's out of hours, we might even use another landing page which has a form and says we'll get back to you, in the morning. So people see like a particular ad saying like, it might be like, it's late now. We're not available to call, but put in your inquiry and we'll get like a quote, or we'll call you back first thing in the morning. Yeah, perfect. Makes sense. Cool. And this campaign's done really well. 21% average campaign conversion rate. So they're all phone calls here. Here's quite a big spend. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah. Really, really good size account. Good so this is critical that this is for very specific emergency products, right? And if you can get this right, like you might have a business that does roofing, right? But you might have an area of your business that focuses on leak repairs or a flat roof leak repairs or something like that, like short term, within 24-hour kind of call out service. Boilers, another one. And I guess if you can get this right, this could work really well for you, I suppose. It has to be that specific kind of product. Definitely. You can think of loads of opportunities, and even if you have a company which it's not necessarily such an urgent product, like an urgent service, you can kind of find ways to make it more of one. Especially if it's something like, say if it's, I don't know, a roof repair, it doesn't look too bad at the moment, or, I've got a bit of like damp wall rot, it's manageable. But like, if you can highlight the point of like, okay, like you've got that now, but if you just leave that, that's gonna, make it much worse and more more costly down the line. You should get this fixed now and it will be cheaper. Then kind of use that angle. I mean, I had a really good example of it with my tooth. I had like a cracked tooth. I left it for ages and I had to get a root canal in the end. Whereas if I fixed it sooner, I would have just had to get a filling.
Yeah, that makes complete sense.
Same goes for all these kind of different services where, I don't know, damp treatments and all that sort of stuff.
Let me show you something real quick. This is an example of that. So I'll share my screen real quick and show you one landing page that we did. So this is flat roofing. So we recently kind of got more deep into flat roofing actually. It's a really great industry to kind of advertise. But this is a great example of how we've done it with Facebook. Flat roof is one of those things where it gets worse and worse over time. And actually can work really well on Facebook because all you have to do is trigger that, make them realize, trigger it in their head. Most flat roofs are pretty old and pretty manky. But what we've done here is we kind of focus really, this is obviously follows all the steps Sam just mentioned about here. You can see the headline is your flat roof looking old, cracked, or causing damp within your home? Get an affordable flat repair replacement quote backed by industry-leading 10-year guarantee. And then what we have underneath here is wondering whether or not you actually need a flat roof repair or replacement. And then we've given like the top 5 signs of flat roof problems. So we said you're cracked in the roof, water's leaking through the ceiling. Some of them are pretty obvious. Walls are damp, or there are signs of black mold or spores, condensation clogging up the windows. I'm not a flat roof expert, right? All it took was a quick chat with the client and a little bit of Google to figure this shit out. So it's something I would recommend you guys understand and try. And I think it can, that's worked really well. Actually, just underneath the fold, just explaining, okay, do you actually know if you need this or not? Because that kind of in their head, it makes them realize that you're a company that cares about their morals. If they don't need the product, then they're not gonna, don't inquire, basically. But yeah, that's I just thought I should throw that example in there.
Yeah, that was a really, really good example to drive the point home on that one.
Yeah.
Like that page. Might have to send me the link.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, for sure.
Cool. And then lastly, I know you do this, Sam. It's actually tracking the lead status in a CRM or a spreadsheet. It really depends on the volume of leads that you've got coming in. If you're like the double glazing company and you're getting like 10 plus a day, it makes sense to probably use an actual CRM to handle them. Yeah. But if you're, just starting out and kind of new to using any type of like CRM or management system for the leads coming in, just use a spreadsheet. That shows date received, lead name, email. You've got the kind of qualification questions all inputted there, which pull through from the form. And then, some other kind of information. And then you can mark off, what the job values, reasons for why they didn't proceed, or if they did proceed, the reasons for that, and add some extra notes. And also for like, if you're using an agency as well, it really allows us to take a look at the reason. If say the leads aren't so good, what is the reason for it? Is it like, oh, they're not in the right area, and we can figure that out? Of course, like we will have the right area targeting set up, but or if it's like people don't have the budget, and if we see that as like a common trend, we can fix that and make the appropriate changes within the account to ensure that we are getting the best, most qualified people.
Yeah, let me show you. Sam's sheet was fantastic. This is what we do as well. I won't share the sheet tab because obviously it's got personal data on it. We don't want to share. But you can see what we do is we pull that data as well, so we can see the contact rates. We can see at every stage. You see here the contact rate's actually a little bit lower in this account, for example. So we'd rather that was around the 70-80% mark. But the overall conversion rate is 13% from all leads. So you can see every 102 leads come in, 56 have had a phone qualification call. 19 have booked consultations, and 13 of those have been closed into a sale. Some clients are a little bit more kind of harsh at different areas. Some clients will audit more on the first call. Some clients will just get the consult booked in or the appointment booked in and closes like 30%. But like having this data is really important, because then you can kind of figure out, okay, you might be spending 20 quid a lead on Google ads, but 40 quid a lead on Facebook ads, but your conversion rate could be twice as much for Facebook, or vice versa. So this kind of information is critical. Sam's absolutely right. So I mean, a lot of our clients, being honest, they would be winging it if we weren't doing this for them. So like we make them fill the sheet in so we can see what's going on. It's so important that we want them to understand how we're adding, how much value we're adding, and where we're adding value, rather than just guessing and saying, oh, well, I was quite busy this week, but last week I wasn't so busy, whatever. So it's so important. So I'll let you, are you still sharing your screen, or do you want to?
I'll share. Yeah, that was really interesting to see, Sam, and it also, like, as an agency as well, and where you're providing this service and the leads, it like shows you like not just in it just to provide leads and be done with it, but really like you're taking it that extra step and really care about, you know, where they end up, because it's one thing making the most amazing campaign in the world, but if they're all falling through the gutter at the end of it and then it's not materializing in business, then you're just not going to be doing very well.
And I would say if an agency is not taking ownership of this, then find another one, because that's our job. Our job is to help you make money. That might take 3 months, that might take 1 month, it might take 6 months, but there has to be a process. And I think if an agency is not showing you how they're adding value to a company, and they're not doing that, it's their job to do this reporting, not yours. If they're not doing this sort of stuff, then go and find yourself another one, I would say, because it's so important. And it looks like we're doing similar things in terms of the back end stuff. So that's cool to see.
Only difference really is where the traffic comes from. Which is
of course. It's I think we've not started to realize over time that some products just work better with Google. Roofing is one of them. Flat roofing we love. Pitch roofs works better with Google typically. So if any of you guys who do replacements, repairs, repair work, roofing, boilers, as Sam's put here, get in contact with these guys. I'm sure we'll pop Sam's website in the comment section, which is cool. And
if anyone does want to get in touch, then, and if you are running ads or you're not running ads, we always provide like a full kind of forecast of what you could potentially be receiving from running a campaign. Gets an idea of like performance on different ad spends, what your current landing page conversion rate is at the moment, seeing what your main competitors are doing, and just reviewing your current results with what you're doing and seeing if we can add any value and improve it. And if so, then it's definitely worth exploring.
And one thing I would say is every marketing channel should be generating revenue back end. So a lot of people think about a marketing budget and say, oh, well, my marketing budget's this, so I'll pull that from Facebook and I'll put it into Google. But you should be looking at Google as an additional revenue source, right? So if you're spending £500,000 a month on Google, don't be like, I'll pull my budget from Facebook. If your Facebook budget is generating you 10x, 20x ROI, why would you be pulling money from that? So take more money from elsewhere, put it into Google, have 2 streams of revenue. Like, it's very smart for companies to try and have at least a couple of revenue streams and marketing, places to market. So if you're currently leveraging just Bark, just My Builder, or just Facebook, maybe one of our clients, for example, if you've got a bit of budget spare, why not give it a whirl with Google? You never know. It could add another stream of income. So some months Facebook's a little bit shit, like especially with the iOS stuff that's been recently going on. It's been a bit up and down. So why not just dip toe in a bit of Google ads, and you never know, when Facebook's dipping, Google might work. When Google's dipping, Facebook will work for you. So it's just keeps deals flowing.
The seasonality of Google can definitely be a factor where it's just there's no demand in the marketplace, because your traffic really depends on how many people are looking for what you provide.
That's the thing. Yeah, you're always at the beck and call of the customer. It's no different for anything. But Moore said, "Shit, Mr. Start." You guys can catch the replay of this. It will be in the group, and what I'll do is I'll copy the URL, or I'll download the video and create like an external source so you guys can go and watch the video on our Wistia or something like that. So we're going to wrap it up because we've literally at now, so it's perfect timing. So well done, Sam. But yeah, cheers for that, Sam. I'll send him a link and I'll get him to pop his website in the comment section. So, and you can obviously DM Sam. I'm sure he'll be happy to chat to you. So, looks like we had about 8 or 9 people watching live the whole time, which is actually pretty cool.
Cool.
And usually we get 50 or 60 or so watch the replays. So I'll probably push this out to the email blast so we get more people to watch it, and we'll repurpose it some content, and maybe we'll jump on another live in a few weeks' time and do something. Talk about something.
Sounds good.
Yeah, wicked. All right, mate. Thanks, guys, for watching. I'll end the broadcast now. And hopefully you enjoyed it, and make sure you comment underneath if you're watching the replay. Just comment with replay and any questions you've got, and I'll make sure Sam has access and he can answer those questions too. So cheers, Sam.
Cool. Thanks for having me. Take care.